saw Susan Minesh the other day. It was so much better.
Well, I want to say, Sylvia, thank you so much for doing this on behalf of DSN. We're really excited. We know that like you're an expert with like over 40 years experience working in the beauty industry, and I'm excited to learn from you about nails and masks and dyeing hair in quarantine. So thank you so much for taking the time to show us.
My pleasure. Can I get another pillow?
Okay, anything that you want, go for it.
Can I go get another pillow?
Sure, if that's what you need. Okay.
Like a high chair. Oh, that's better.
Sounds good.
Hi, everybody.
All
If
right.
I fall down, it's because I'm on 3 pillows.
Not to worry.
Hey, how's that?
Perfect.
I start?
Yep.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sylvia Hamway. You might know me from Reflections Cosmetics or Reflections Shabbat Cosmetics. During this quarantine, I know all of us have felt very dowdy and very not well taken care of. Our nails, our gray hair, pedicures, manicures. So I have a few things that I could suggest that I did, and it made me really feel better. First of all, I ordered from GBS in Florida, and I told them every single thing I needed, a nail polish. Their remover, by the way, it's the remover that you get from a beauty supply, works 10 times better. And I ordered my, I use this Rejuvecoat nail therapy system, and it really strengthens your nails. So what I do is I use it as my bottom coat. They sell a top coat. I don't use that. And after the polish is put on, 2 coats, I put a thin layer. The first time was pretty messy. And then the best part is I buy these Cutica half-time drying drops, and you put 1 drop on each nail, including your toes, and it dries. I go like this, and in a minute it's dry. So you can give yourself a change of polish. You don't need to cut cuticles. One tip that I really do love, if I can find my, if I have, I don't have cuticles because God bless, my mother taught me never cut your cuticles. And in the beauty parlor, when I see someone, any young girl, that all their cuticles, they chop them up. So what I do before I go to the beauty parlors, I take my emery board and I just go along my finger, and any rough edges, chewed edges, anything, it smooths it out automatically. I also push back my cuticles. You could purchase something. I use this stick, and I also used it with a little bit of cotton to clean the mess. The first time I did it at night, and I didn't realize how dark it is in here, and I woke up the next day with all over my fingers, so I cleaned that up. And then the second time I did it, I just took my time, and it worked very well. I know that a lot of girls miss their pedicure, and I know I get calluses even all the time in between pedicures, so I have this paddle. There's even a better one on the market that I'm going to go buy tomorrow. It's a big paddle, and it really takes off the calluses, and I use it dry. And this is something I bought for all my children, all my grandchildren. This is $1 one, and I use it on my feet, and my feet are always smooth. So that's that. As far as dyeing my hair, it was an experience. The way I learned to find my color was I was never happy with my color. So what I did was I used to use L'Oreal from the pharmacy. What I found out is that from the pharmacy, it's diluted. It's not what they use in the beauty salon. So I contacted L'Oreal and asked them what color, and I try to get as much information. And then I went to a pharmacy, and I waited for the day that the girl came that does the hair dye, and she explained to me like what N is, what this is, what that, and I finally got my color. So now I order it from GBS by the dozen, and they mail it to me, and I always have it. I use Wella 6N, and I use 20% of the, what do you call that? The toner they put with it, and you put twice as much of the, I forgot the name of it, I think it's a toner, and you get it from the beauty supply. It's the Wella one is the best. And then I bought a shade darker, which I love in a tube because you only use a little, for my eyebrows. And I would squeeze out a little and use number
Naomi.
10%.
Naomi,
Excuse me?
Just mute everybody else. Keep going. You can keep going.
Okay. So I found out it's better
where are you going? Nowhere. Where are you getting dressed?
Allie, I can hear you.
There you go.
It's better to use 10%. It dilutes it more for the brows. Right now, my brows look pretty dark because I did it. I know I'm going to New Jersey and I didn't want to be bothered, so I did it pretty close the time I did it. Another thing that I think was really good for me is, being that I wasn't wearing any makeup, I let my eyebrows grow in for the first time. And let me tell you, they grew in. I did not believe over here it was too high up and over here. And so I let that grow in. I also bought this, if you could see it, it's called Miraclash. It's like, it's something that you put on your lashes to strengthen them. And I also put it on my brows. And it comes with a brush, but I like this brush better. It's a thick brush. So what I do is I take a little and I pour it in a plate. It's literally one tiny drop. It's the smallest bottle you ever saw. And I dip it in, and I'll do my top of my lashes. I do it, and then I dip it in whatever's extra I do here because I want this to grow in. And it's growing. It's very slow, but I'm really happy that I found it and that I have the time, so much time. I'm quarantined alone for almost 5.5 months. I had a lot of time to think. Now, I want to mention something because a customer called me from Canada. She wanted to know what she could do about waxing now. I stopped waxing long ago. I bought this machine. It's called Flawless. And this is the size I bought. First, I bought a smaller one. It takes off any facial hair. It takes off your legs. You could do it in no water. And it lasts a long time, and you don't get dark hairs come back. If anything comes back, it's just, like fuzzy. But that's something that I really, really love. That's worth its weight in gold. So no more going for that. No more waxing.
What's it called again?
It's called Flawless. Now they have a few different kinds. Let me see if it says it. Flawless, I don't know, it's Flawless. This is what it looks like. It's about $59. I think it may be cheaper now. I bought it with a 20% coupon I called Bed Bath & Beyond. Love my coupons.
Who doesn't?
Another thing is I found my hair was extremely dry. I don't know why. Maybe it's water here, maybe I don't know why. So some VL5 every day, put all VL5, and I put it between my hands and I put it on my hair. And then I found that olive oil worked better. So being that I'm alone and really nobody's going to see me, it still bothered me that my eyebrows didn't look good, that my hair was gray, really gray. So I tried to find things that would make me feel better, and they really did. Once I mastered my nails after the second time, I found a trick for when you put your polish on, and then I told you my top coat is the Rejuvecoat Nail Therapy, not their top coat. I put on, even if my nails are starting to get a little frayed, I put a coat on during the week, and it holds your nails strong. That's what I was going to tell you about that. Oh, so you could take a very thin brush like this, you have one, and you dip it in to the top of, the trick I learned. You dip it into the top of the nail polish remover, and then you go near your fingers and you just erase any polish that's extra polish. So that saved me, because the first night that I did it, I woke up, half my nail wasn't done and the other half was on my fingers. So that wasn't too hard to learn.
Sylvia, there are
also-
two questions. Can I ask you two questions?
You can ask any question.
Okay, the first question is, everyone's saying you look beautiful and stunning as always.
Well, you didn't see me before I did all this.
There you
Thank
go. One was, is there a special remover for the lips?
I never waxed, I never had to, but sometimes you do, and I use this.
The flawless?
I can't even tell you, don't feel it. My daughter Lisa, did you get yours in yet, Lisa? I don't know if she hears me, but I
She
told her
does
to
hear
get
you.
it.
Here,
And I like it.
Hi, Ma. I do hear you.
Did you get this?
I thought it was unbelievable. The only thing was on my lip after it felt like irritated. Is there another one that's lighter for the lip?
I do have one that looks more like a fat pen, and
Do
I
you have
bought
it?
that. You could buy that. Then I decided that, let me try that one for the legs, so you could use that one. You could use the other
Can
one.
you lift the products up? Because it's hard to see that you like. Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so they do have it in a pen form, like a gold pen. It's made out of 18 karat gold. It's not
It
that
was
expensive.
great for the face. It was great for the face.
It takes off like peach fuzz,
And it didn't grow like,
it doesn't grow in fast, and you
it
don't
didn't
get
grow
dark
like
hairs.
stubbly. It grew in fine. Thank you.
Right, I wanted
Wait,
to.
could you show the pencil that you did with the nails, how you dipped it in?
The pencil?
You know, you dipped in
The
something
brush.
with a nail when you're doing
Okay,
your nails.
yes. Where'd I put it now? Tell
and
me.
somebody else also asked if you recommend coconut oil for the skin, and what about
Coconut oil is very good. I don't know about for oily skin, because I haven't recommended it for oily skin, but coconut oil is known to be good for your hair, for everything. I haven't really used it yet, although I have it.
Okay, and what about sunscreen products? Are there any that you like swear by? Or
I use the highest number. I get a spray, and then I didn't sit in the sun here. I'm here 6 months. I didn't see the sun. So now I
do
don't
you
understand.
mix your makeup with your sunscreen, or is sunscreen a
The rule of thumb is, first you put your sunscreen on, let's say your face. Then I like to put a dot of moisturizer, because I'm very dry. You could use oil free. You don't really need it. And then I put foundation. And I used to do that when I played tennis, so I didn't get those funny marks on your face the foundation gives you very good coverage. Back to Lisa's question, this is the kind of brush that I have. Of course, I sell makeup. It's so easy. You dip into your bag. And I took the professional polish and I just went like this, and I went around the edge of my nails wherever there was a little bit, and there was a lot of it, a lot of times. and I made it clean. So that was a learning experience. And pushing your cuticles, I don't like to use metal, so I use the wood. But sometimes, I don't believe, one thing I want to clarify, when I sit in the beauty parlor and I see all the girls having their regular manicure, they don't need a manicure. My mother, God bless her, taught me never cut your cuticles. If you don't cut your cuticles, you have a change of polish. What I do is I push my cuticles. Sometimes I do it with my finger like this and just push it right before she's going to put the, or after my shower. And you could use the stick also. And by the way, I'm sorry if I'm jumping around, getting back to cleaning the nail, you could take a tiny little piece of cotton like this and dip it into the polish remover, which if you press down, it comes on, and then you can clean, okay? What were we saying that you asked me? Oh, I wanted to say something about gray hair. I don't know anyone who feels comfortable when the hair gets gray. I was here alone for so many months and I couldn't stand to look in it. It just didn't make me feel good. So I have this product, Before You Dye. It saves my life. I put it on, comes in colors, like this, and I brush it on and I go like this sometimes and I part my hair and put it wherever I need it. If it looks in the beginning too heavy, I wipe it on a tissue. But it keeps me from having my hair dyed constantly, because at my stage I could dye it the week after or tomorrow. So this is my lifesaver. I won't go anywhere without it. And then I use a product like this for the brows. Comes in colors, and I touch my brow, to fill in and to make it darker. Any other questions before I remember what I did? Oh, I have a link on my...
There are some questions. What is the name of the makeup that you sell? It's Reflections?
Reflections Cosmetics. Most people know me for the Shabbat line of cosmetics that I created with Rabbi Blumenkrantz. But what I really specialize in anti-aging, since I am anti-aging. So that's what people come to me for, recommendation for that. And of course, and I have a beauty school where I teach girls how to become makeup artists, as well as one-on-one with someone who brings makeup. And I can show them and teach them, and they just feel better about themselves. I want to show you it's on my phone, and I didn't have time to write it down. I want to tell you on YouTube, there was a thing that I looked up. Find it. Gosh, I'm supposed to look it up, but we were having problems with the computer. I don't have it, we'll post it. But it's, I looked at all of the sites that had the, I'm not going to look for it because it's going to take time. But I'll post it. There are a lot of things you could learn on YouTube, including giving yourself a manicure, a pedicure. But there was one on dyeing your hair that I found very, very good and very easy. Not easy to dye your hair if you have a lot of hair. You have to section it and do it, and it gets messy and sloppy and whatever.
Somebody asked a question of what is the product? Who sells that product that you use before you dye?
I do.
Okay.
I tried every single thing. I found powders. I found sprays. They would spray my whole forehead. I get it a lot here. I can't use a powder. It gets all over me. And a spray definitely gets on more than the part. This, it's like a mascara, but it's very, very, it's very small brush. So you could just go like this and rub it in, and if it feels too dark, you just move it. And I go like this on the side. I put it in a pony usually. I can't tell you how this prolongs my I could dye my hair every 10 days at this point. And it's really something that people buy in 2s and 3s because I'm always out of it, but it's inexpensive, but it really works. I've tried everything on the market, I think, because I'm always looking for something better. That's one thing that I have in my car. You know, when you go in your car and you think you look so beautiful in the house, and then you say, there's a gray hair here. Well, there's something here, so I leave it in the car. And then for the brows, I use the Brow Fix. And it comes in different colors. It comes right off. Both of them are just for the day. And I brush it, and I really can't live without it because my brows get lighter, and it makes me feel better. And even when I was home and I wasn't feeling well, I just dyed my hair, the big mess, and I did it, and I just felt better after. Blowing my hair is something else. I don't have the beautiful hair that I see over here. I have full hair, thank God. And when I blow it, I get exhausted and it looks not so great. And I spray it and everything, put rollers, and the next day I wake up and my hair's like this. In fact, years ago, 2 of my friends came to my house and they said, Sylvia, stop going to the beauty parlor. You're so handy, you could do your hair. So they started to blow my hair. And then one called another one and said, you have to come over, we need you. And she started blowing, and I don't have the hardest hair. I don't have kinky hair, I just have curly hair. And they both said, go to the beauty parlor. My hair is full, so. I want to address one thing. Oh, I wanted to tell you something. I'm jumping around because we had a little time getting on the, till we got on the video. So I was jumping around because I didn't have time to collect my thoughts. This is the bottle that I mix the dye in. And you have to follow the directions, but my dye is Wella. You put this in and 2 parts of the 20%. I'm getting the lotion. It's in a white bottle. It looks like this. Get it from the beauty supply. So that's the easiest way to put it. Or you can take a brush like this, after you mix it in a bowl, it's separated, and you only want to do it where the dye is. Many times I go to the beauty parlor, and till this day, they take the dye and they go like that, and I end up with 2-color hair and dark hair around the perimeter of my face. So these are good tips for doing that. Does anyone have any questions? Sorry?
No, all good.
I have many more things. This is what I wanted to say. Our brushes carry a lot of bacteria, and we really should be washing them much more often. This is a great time to collect all your family's hairbrushes, put it in the sink, and wash them good. They really should be done weekly. And I take some of my brushes for my makeup, and I swish it in a bowl of dishwasher soap, Dawn, and I rinse it out. And when it comes to a big brush like this, I really rinse it out, and I wipe it on a towel like this to fluff it, and I leave it upright in a glass. And then the little ones, I just take that soap and just go like this and make sure that there's nothing in it. First of all, there's a tremendous amount of bacteria in our makeup, which we don't realize. And that's one way to keep it clean. Another thing I do is if I don't wear too much makeup one week, or I'm not wearing, I take a washcloth with warm water and soap and I just wipe them down. But never soak your brushes, because this is a ferrule and all of these hairs are glued in. You will just have a hairless brush. So I wipe it on the tissue. It doesn't work to do it Friday before Shabbat because it never dries thoroughly and the makeup does not go on, not thoroughly dry and the makeup does not go on smooth. Any other questions? I have a lot of things I can help you with. Okay, I have a mask.
Somebody did ask a question. They wanted to know if you can put your makeup brushes in the dishwasher.
I wouldn't. First of all, I buy the best makeup brushes, the tightest heads, and they're valuable, and I would not want them to be, I wouldn't do it. I treat them like my jewelry. I just swish it around, make sure, and I dry it, and I always leave it upright. I never leave it when it's wet, especially in the drawer, and it gets bacteria. Another thing I wanted to mention is our blush and our lipsticks, everything gets bacteria, whether you see it or not. So it needs to be cleaned. I take a Q-tip and clean around it, and then I wipe a tissue on it and I clean the frame. And I try to keep it as clean as I can. I grant you sometimes I forget, but even my lipsticks, I wipe them down. Even my pencil sharpener, things that you touch constantly have bacteria. I recommend finding the best pencil sharpener in the world. I happen to find one, which I could never find again at a show. And I empty it, and I never want to lose it, but you can find a good pencil sharpener. And I sharpen my pencil every time I put my lipstick on. Otherwise, it feathers and it gets messy. And just it's not a good application. Do you have any more questions?
Let's see. Any advice for jojoba oil?
Jojoba?
Yeah, sorry.
Jojoba oil is an excellent oil. I have them in some of my products. You know, we really have to read the labels of the products. And I would never have anything that has carrageen in it, C-A-R-A-G-E-E-N. It's cancer causing. And if you look at let's say something is advertised and it says jojoba moisturizer. First read where the jojoba is. It could be the last thing. They could put a pinch. They have to be aware of the ingredients and how potent they are. How potent they are. I made up a mask, a do-it-yourself mask for you. And I wish I could open my phone because all my writings are in there and I can't remember all the things that I wanted to tell you. But I will show it to you. I can.
So this is something we can make ourselves at home. And what does it do to?
This is something you make yourself. I just want to see if you give me 1 second.
No problem.
Find it because I was all prepared except that we couldn't get on Zoom, so it threw me. Let me just write image. I'm going to show you the cleanser, and I'm going to take the papaya. Can you see it? Papaya and honey. Yeah. And it's a very good quality honey. And I want to tell you what is in papaya. I need to just go back to my article, sorry. I'm supposed to write down everything. And of course, we were on the phone 20 minutes trying to get Zoom on. And I'm usually ready, but.
Oh, you're doing great. Somebody wanted to know the oil that you just spoke of. Somebody has been using it at night, just pure to sleep, and been loving the results. Can you speak to that, or?
I'm going to speak to different moisturizers. Okay, here. Just want to tell you what. I want to check what I wrote because I like to go make sure I cover everything. Number one, you must wear an eye cream, no matter what age you are. And it's very good to wear a lightweight eye cream, whether or not you're wearing foundation. And it protects your eyes and it keeps them moist and it keeps them from wrinkles. And then I have an anti-aging eye cream that I put on at night. And that stays on my eyes the whole night and penetrates. And I leave it on my night table because I'm getting forgetful. So if I put it away, I forget it. But that's something that I must have. I like to wear rich moisturizer because I did get dry. And I like to wear a serum.
What is the best eye cream that you like to use?
It's I don't have it with me. I'm sorry. I have it in my packed. But if anyone wants, it's a very, very good eye cream. Comes in the tiniest little thing, and I really like it.
Do you know the name?
What?
Brand?
My brand. I only use my brand.
Oh, okay.
I buy from about 30 different companies. So my packaging is not always beautiful because I'll buy one thing from one company and one thing from another company just to get the best. I use serums a lot, and serums help your skin. You can put it under your moisturizer, and I do recommend a night cream for anybody 35 and older.
Okay.
And getting back to that, there are oil-free moisturizers if you break out, and then they are rich moisturizers. I found even the most expensive moisturizers were not rich enough for me to make my skin feel soft. It would just dry in my face. So I would go to the counter and put it on, and 2 minutes later, it would be gone. And I need to have that softness because I know it's going to last. What I specialize in, and people think it's spat makeup, I do that because it's a service and it's very needed. And as a matter of fact, in 1986, I met Rabbi Blumenkrantz and really hit it off. And he gave me every customer, and I mean thousands, because he didn't want women wearing makeup on Shabbat, but he approved of certain colors. He never told me he passed away. He was a very good friend. He never told me why he picked a color. If a color was discontinued, I'd find the same thing in my mind, and he'd say no. So I have a lot of things from then and some that could be ordered. But he helped a lot of people. He was the only rabbi that would stick his neck out. When I had a website, he wrote some nice letter to me. And people still come to me and cry when they think about him. He was the teacher. I used to meet him 1 o'clock in the morning at Borough Park at a party, at a wedding. I'm not a 1 o'clock person. And I used to bring a washcloth and tissues and let him check it. Or I would meet him after his school. He had a girls' school in Midwood. And you never heard children till this day giggling coming out of his class. He was so well loved. I adored him, and his family adored him. People cry when they come to me and they mention him. But now there are other rabbis that have different opinions. They never mentioned it until he passed away. And I was disappointed to see how political it became and how many people wrote things about him that were not right. They weren't true. And I called one rabbi because I needed, the colors are disconnected from 1986. The companies don't keep the colors that long. So I called one rabbi in the 5 towns and I said, Rabbi, I have makeup. I understand that you have makeup. Yes. I said, how does it work? He says, we'll work out a financial agreement. That was the end of my conversation with him. They said, you have to throw out all the makeup. I had a whole store of makeup. I don't approve of Rabbi Blumenkrantz. And everybody approved it. I mean, 98% of people approved of him. Now other rabbis are saying, they still come to me and all the rabbis like, but there are other rabbis who say you can't put oil, you can't put this, you can put that. And it became like a political. So the people that come to me know, I tell them all the laws, very simple, and they're very loyal to me. Lisa, what do you want me to talk about? Makeup?
Yeah, I'm loving your tips. And
Just
I
wanna-
have to say,
Go ahead.
I have to just say that years ago you told me not to cut the cuticles. And till
Thanks, Grandma.
till this day, I wish I listened because you were right.
But you could take a nail file, let them grow in, do not have them, and just go like this, even if it gets rough. And
the manicure is really like, you could just get a change of polish. And I wish because once you start cutting them, you need
okay,
to cut
no.
them.
Okay, that's a fallacy. That's what I want to make sure. I never cut my cuticles, but I see a lot of girls in the beauty salon, nail salon, and we talk. And I say, I stick my neck out a little, and I say, is there a reason that you're getting your cuticles cut? They don't know. They don't think. They're young. They said, a manicure. I'm getting a manicure. Well, if you scrub your hands before and push your cuticles, you do not need a manicure. A manicure, really, they use tools on you. They cut, you get infections, and you need your cuticle safety. Otherwise, you get infections. Hi, Sharon. And
Okay, we do have a few more questions, so let me.
go ahead.
Okay, so one question was, what's your opinion on face masks that come in one piece?
I didn't hear you.
What is your opinion on face masks that come in like one piece, like a sheet mask?
Depends on the face mask. I personally use a mask that comes according to my skin type. There are clay masks that are for oily skin. I use a moisturizing mask that cleans my skin, but I can't afford to take away the dryness. So those, maybe for a young girl, it would be good. It's funny that I bought them and I never sold them because I just did not feel that it was right.
Okay, the next question is, do you remember natural or junk-free products for people with sensitive skin?
I have never investigated it. I've heard of it. All I can tell you is there was a time when I was going to get organic makeup, and I even found a very, very big manufacturer that was going to have formaldehyde-free nail polish. And I didn't like his colors, but I said, you know what, I'm going to try it. And it was very thin and it peeled right off. It wasn't something that I could live with. What did you say now? What was the other question?
The last question is, so if I came to you as you were my beauty consultant, if I have here, I got a pimple, what's the fastest way to get rid of it? What would you suggest?
Well, I would suggest, first of all, depending how you clean your skin. That's another subject. Let me just finish this one, okay?
Okay.
Then I will tell you how I believe in cleaning the skin, and I think it's the best that I ever, that I haven't found anything a better way for me. I want to tell you about the mask. It's half a cup of papaya. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to spill it over here.
There you go.
A tablespoon of the best honey. My honey froze up and I put it in the microwave and it dripped all over my expensive, but I had some left. So you mix it up. You could put it on. This is really a brush to put dye on to get thin, but if you have a wide flat brush, you can dip it in. First you wash your skin and then you put it on and you leave it on for 10 minutes. Then you take a washcloth, warm water. I use maybe 4 or 5 washcloths a day, and you wring it out and you take it off. And you can do it as many times as you want, but I wrote down what is in papaya, and I can't remember it, so I want to tell it to you. Bless you. This mask is especially great for those who have hyperpigmentation, different coloring, sunspots, and uneven skin tones. Papaya nourishes the skin. It contains vitamin A and I don't know how you pronounce it, PAPAIN, proteins. It has it rejuvenates your skin, and applying to your skin makes your skin soft and supple. It's one of the best masks. I have a lot of homemade recipes for masks, and I do sell masks, but you can't just go over the counter and buy any mask. You have to know if you have oily skin, if you have normal to dry skin. I'd like, if you have another question.
Nope, that was all the questions.
I have something I wanted to say about cleaning your skin.
Okay.
First of all, except for Shabbat, when some people do, wear makeup, makeup clogs your pores. Even if you're home, quarantine, your skin has bacteria on it. So what I like to do is I take my cleanser, pour about a tablespoon in my hand. I do it either in the shower or in the sink, and I massage it on my skin. Then I take a clean, fresh, warm washcloth. I like white, even though it never gets clean. And I take off all the cleanser. Then I turn over the washcloth. I'm doing this for 44 years. And then I make sure it's clean and damp. And then I go over it again. If there's any traces of makeup or anything, then I know I didn't do a good job, and I repeat it. Then I follow by my toner. This is one for, everything's packed. This is a citrus rinse, and this is for oily skin. So I would use one for dry skin. And I put it on a cotton pad and pat it all over my skin, but not my eyes. Now my skin is spotless. I do that before I go to bed, whether I wear makeup or not. You know, we have air conditioning and we have heating and we go outside and we think our face looks good. But honestly, it does have, there's bacteria all over. Let me see if there's anything I left out. Did I mention, I know I mentioned this too. I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I did, but I'll
Your
repeat it.
eyebrows?
I just put a drop and I do it one shade darker. I did remember it. One shade darker than my hair because sometimes it doesn't cover on me. And I use 10% of the solution to mix it. Right now, I did it 2 weeks ago and I did it now, so it's a little darker than I usually have it. Did I tell you about this? I think I did.
For your eyelashes?
Yeah, for anyone who's tuning in now, this seems to be the best thing that works. It's Mirror Clash, and it comes with a brush, but the brush to me was too fat, so I took my eyeliner, fresh eyeliner brush. I did remember telling you, and I put it very close on my lashes twice a day. Whatever's left over, I put here. It's about $20 or $25. I put a dot on a plate and I repeat it, and whatever's left, I put it wherever I want the hair to grow. And let me tell you, it's growing. You're not going to see me until my eyebrows are fuller. Anybody have any makeup questions?
So I think that that's all the questions that we have today on the group chat over here on the side. So
Okay.
I would just want to say to you, thank you so much for agreeing to come out here and for putting makeup on during quarantine for us. You are not only extremely classy and professional, but you also look the part also, which we can't always say during these times. And you're giving.
Well, look, I put a little makeup on for you. Look, I put my ring on. I haven't worn my ring. I put earrings, my fanciest earrings. I wanted to feel good. You know, when I was home, and I was home really 5.5 months, I could not look at myself. My nails were ragged. It just bothers me. It's me. I don't care. Like people say, oh, well, you have to do it. You're a makeup artist. I don't have to do it. You have to do it. I just can't. I don't like it if I'm not, you know, my
Yeah,
nails
but I
are not,
think that that's a
my
big thing.
hair.
This is the self-care, right? You are teaching us how to do things for ourselves during these times so that we feel better about ourselves, you know, while we have to be all cooped up.
Callie, what I noticed is um, a lot of the very younger girls, like 30-year-old girls, would come into me and almost cry and say, Sylvia, look, I'm getting a wrinkle over here. That's fantastic. That means you're smiling, and that means that you're getting older. And they're using too much Botox, too much not the name, I know the name. They're using too much, and they're asking their doctors to fill in their lips a lot. And they're really, I can walk on the boardwalk, and unfortunately, a person that sells shoes always is looking down. When I spot someone, I know what they did, and I don't want to notice it, you know, but it comes into my mind. Too much Botox, too this, too that. They're lifting their cheeks. There are a lot of things that you can do for your skin that are take care of your skin with products, and there are a lot of new things that you can do to take off the top layer of your skin and to take off the marks. But I think at 30 that they're a little bit aggressive, and when they get older, what's going to happen? When I wake up in the morning and I see a little crease here, I go, hi, is that staying with me today, or is that leaving me? Because when you get older, you don't know what to expect. But I'm going to say one thing. If you have good habits when you first begin, I have mothers that bring just to put blush on them to teach them. You have good habits, it's like brushing your teeth. You have to start putting makeup on at 30 or 35. It's a shame. It's a shame to me because those are your golden years. It only, you know, it only gets harder to look good. It's not something that, you know, oh, you look better when you get older and I don't need anything. The models wear makeup. It doesn't have to be heavy makeup either. It could be very, very light. But I really believe in self-care and fixing your nails and fixing your hair, and just to me, it's cleanliness. So there are a lot of things on the market, and it's very easy to buy them, and people spend a fortune. That's how I got into business. One girl came to me with a drawer the size of this table. And I said, what do you want me to do for you? She says, I want to look. So we emptied out what wasn't good, and I gave her a look of her own things. She was so happy because she just went from counter to counter to counter. And what you see in a department store is not the way it looks when you come home. Even I go. And most companies, the colors are similar. I know because I have all the colors. People will spend any amount thinking that it's going to make them look better. And you have to be a little bit, you have to learn a little bit yourself instead of, you know, how many times did you buy a lipstick? You come home, you said, I don't want that lipstick. That's how I went into business because of that.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you so much, Reflections Cosmetics. And how can people reach out to you if they're interested in speaking to you personally or getting
So
help from you?
my email is my name,
Okay.
SYLHAM like in Manny, OWY @ AOL. And my phone number is I only use my cell now, 718-757-1777. People call me, I have mail order, and people call me from Brazil and ask me questions. They call me from all over the country. And one woman called me today to find out about where to go to wax, and I showed her the machine. I don't sell it, but I wanted her not to wax. But I had to learn just like everybody else, and I was very fortunate that I found the most phenomenal makeup artist in the world. I've never, ever seen one that's to his caliber. He was gay, and he used to have the models in his showroom, and he used to take off their eyebrows, and I would say, look, I'm just a housewife, and I just want to look better. And at one point, he would take off one hair from here, and my eye looked different, my face looked different. And I don't see those kind of makeup artists in the department store at all.
Could you repeat your cell phone number again?
Sure.
It's in the chat. I posted it in the chat. So if you go to the chat, it's listed there along with her email, but just in case, it's 718-757-1777.
1777.
Thank you so
Are
much.
we finished with the time? Is there
Yes.
anything else I can teach you? No, I'm fine.
Yeah, we're good.
It go on and on and on. 44 years. I write for the Image and the Jewish Press, so I leave my makeup tips there if you look at it. And thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. You look beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You could call me for any questions other than makeup. It's fine. I'm on the phone with women all day long that just needed guidance, and they need it. We all spend too much money on it. And, there's so much out there. I go to a department store, my head spins, So good luck, everybody.
Thank you so much.
And let's get good habits, not because of the quarantine, just for ourselves, if you have a husband and your family. My granddaughter said the other day, Grandma wears lipstick even if she's buying groceries. It was hard for me not to wear lipstick with the mask.
I hear ya.
Well, good luck. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and I hope you all learned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I can take off my makeup. It's quarantine time. But you know what? It feels so good. Earrings, What could I say?
All right.